I had a panic attack last week. It happens sometimes when you're an anxious little squid. See, I was thinking so much about my Zoom interviews with professors at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology that I missed another Zoom meeting I was supposed to attend for OIST. I was so worried. What information had I missed? Would my application just be rejected because I hadn't been paying attention? Everything turned out okay, but until everything turned out okay, I felt like I was stuck in an episode of Kaiji the Ultimate Survivor. So let's think about that, and stuff like it. This anime rules. Alongside JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, Kaiji the Ultimate Survivor is one of my favorites. But why? JoJo's and Gurren Lagann are cool and funny. Kaiji seems like it was written to induce panic attacks. I hate panic attacks. Why do I like a show built to cause them?
所詮凡人であるカイジ君などとは運の要領が違う。
Granted, basically all fiction works by presenting conflicts. But Kaiji's conflicts can be especially panic-inducing. Listen to this. If you don't mind spoilers, here's how the first season of Kaiji ends. Kaiji has just survived a series of life-and-death gambles, each of which was nail-biting and bone-shaking. He's got a lot of money on the line, but to fight for the honor of a man who died for him in the last gamble, he wants to put more money on the line. So he gambles his fingers, too. He's got the guts because he's cheating in a panic-inducing way. But the bad guy cheats as well, and Kaiji loses. He loses his fingers.
当たり当たり当たり当たり当たり
You don't actually see it happen, but the anime really grinds the anticipation. Sometimes anime protagonists are way overpowered and always win, but Kaiji can lose. He gets his fingers back next season, but maybe he wishes he didn't.
なんだと思うこれ?
There are scenes in this anime where the main character endures intensely traumatic events. Just like the audience within the anime, the audience of the anime has to endure the intensely traumatic events alongside him. Why? Why do humans and squids write and read stories which are supposed to make them feel awful? Here's a quick clip from Vsauce's YouTube Red show Mindfield. I hope it's okay to show stuff like this. I totally recommend the show. YouTube Red is worth it for more Michael Stevens. Anyway, he shows how humans might electrocute themselves for no reason but boredom.
Remember what Jameson said a few minutes ago?
I don't want to do that again.
But will he desire stimulation so strongly, he just goes ahead and pushes that button? Did that hurt?
Yes.
The hypothesis is that when left alone with a very negative stimulus, people will go ahead and re-experience it just because it's something to do.
I'm one of them.
So I guess it could be said TV shows like Kaiji are ways for bored folks to electrocute themselves. But why? Why? Apparently, my YouTube channel Thinkster is about Friston's free energy principle now, because I'm tempted to cite it. Sentient beings want to minimize surprise. One way to minimize surprise is by experiencing intensely traumatic events in harmless ways. We can learn about consequences without facing them ourselves. Maybe we skydive because we want to experience a deadly fall in a way we can land. Maybe we watch Kaiji the Ultimate Survivor because we want to experience deadly gambling in a way we can leave after we lose. If you want to hear about the reflecting skin, maybe you'd want to skip to this timestamp in the video, because I want to briefly mention human centipedes. Yeah, geez. As a young squidling, the mere knowledge of this trilogy's existence disturbed me. Ugh. You don't need to watch these movies. They are what they say on the tin. Basically, the director Tom Six is using a Mary Douglas-style dirtiness to strike your every nerve. If you had to name the worst thing about the body, it would probably be pooping. Everyone poops. And if you had to name the worst thing to do with poop, you'd probably say eating it. Tom Six isn't trying to make a good movie. Tom Six is trying to present intensely traumatic events just to provoke surprise-minimizing curiosity. So that's enough of that. Now, The Reflecting Skin is a movie from 1990 I found on fedupmovies.com. First of all, fedupmovies.com should really be called fuckedupfilms.com, come on. But anyway, The Reflecting Skin is one of the rare movies on fedupmovies.com, which is actually pretty good. Not great, maybe, but at least okay. Better than, for instance, The Human Centipede. The main kid isn't an excellent actor, but a movie about losing childhood innocence almost benefits from the imperfect child actors. Nothing on screen is necessarily playing out the way it appears, because it's all shown from a childish perspective. Like, did his mom actually punish him like this, or is this just hyperbole? I hope it's hyperbole.
You're gonna drink until your stomach's fit to burst!
Like Kaiji and The Human Centipede, The Reflecting Skin is built to put the audience in an uncomfortable position. We imagine losing our own childhood innocence by watching this kid lose his. Spoiler alert, I'd like to go over the plot real quick. This kid starts the movie by exploding a frog on his neighbor. This isn't exactly innocent, is it? But the kid doesn't seem to understand the gravity of what he's doing. He's just having fun with his friends by exploding a frog. His mom sends him to the neighbor to make him apologize, but the neighbor actually seems cool with the frog explosion. Boys will be boys.
Frogs. Who cares? Did far worse when I was a child, goodness yes. We used to tie fireworks to cats' tails and set them on fire. Ever do that?
Then the neighbor confuses the heck out of this kid. She says she's 200 years old, maybe as a metaphor for her ill state of mind after her husband's suicide. The kid misinterprets her, assuming that she's actually a vampire. When the kid's friend appears dead, the kid blames the vampire, even though it was obviously these evil gangsters in a black Cadillac.
Are you a scarecrow's son?
No.
I was hoping you were. We'll be seeing you. Would you like that?
Yeah.
And when the kid's older brother falls in love with the vampire, the kid's angry. That vampire literally drains his brother's blood, because he has radiation poisoning after time in war-torn Japan. So when the kid sees the vampire get into the evil gangster's black Cadillac, he plays Scarecrow.
Where are you boys going?
Where are you going?
To town?
We going that way, boys?
Yeah.
Looks like we're going that way.
Thanks.
Her body is soon found, and the kid's brother is unconsolable. It's only now that the kid realizes the scale of the mistake he just made. His brother will have the same ill state of mind he used to interpret as vampirism. The kid runs into the field and screams at the sun. Then the movie ends. So, geez, I'm sure your childhood has its sad, scary, and angry memories, but I bet you never screamed at the sun like this. Such traumatic events, perfectly orchestrated, can only happen in fiction. I hope. I think that's why movies like this exist. It hurts to watch them, but when you stop, the rest of your life seems way better in comparison, like a rough massage. The worst that might happen is that the movie sticks in your head, and you keep thinking about it even if you don't want to. That's all I do here at Thinkster. So, even if I mess up somehow and don't get to go to OIST, I'm sure I'll never make a mistake quite as bad as Kaiji. Go watch Kaiji. Bye-bye. By the way, I've got a Patreon at patreon.com/Thinkster. I want to thank all these squidlings and elder squids. Thanks.